Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Kyra, and lately on my channel I've been doing a gentle declutter series in which I'm really taking a look at my products and seeing where there's overlap, seeing where there's things that have been held onto for the sake of YouTube comparisons or video specific content, and just getting rid of things that I don't need to keep anymore. Today I'm going to be working through my cream and liquid blush category, and we're gonna go from there. So let me pull everything out. All right, here we are with everything in frame here. I just also finished filming my powder blush declutter. I think the way that worked best was to separate things out kind of by color category, at least how they currently reside in my Mind Palace of Makeup. If you're not familiar with that term, for me, it means the way I think about and categorize my makeup in my brain. What I think it looks like, kind of what category of color it fits in. And so we're just going to kind of separate things out by color category and get to swatching and see if there's any overlap or anything like that. So let's do it. All right, I thought we could first reconcile with the Patrick Ta blush palette here. It's not going anywhere, but I am going to swatch it for you, and then we'll keep that in mind as we move on with the rest of the products and keep it, close for comparisons rather. Maybe filming two declutters back to back, not the best idea. So these three duos are available as singles, and so I do count them as singles when speaking about my inventory. This is She's a Doll and She's a Doll, She's Vibrant, She's Vibrant, She's Baked, and She's Baked. And I do love all of these, and like I said, I'm keeping this close in case we need to swatch anything against it. Okay, so I think we're going to start with like reds and berries, stuff like that. Let's swatch the reds first since there aren't as many. This is a favorite that I want to pull out again soon. It is the Nude Sticks Nudies Matte in the shade Beach Babe. Definitely a favorite summer color, but just a favorite color on myself in general. It's really pretty. This is like a sunburny shade on me, and I've used a fair amount of it, as you can see. Definitely not going anywhere, but I'm curious how She's Baked, the cream, would swatch against this cream. And She's Baked is definitely the one I've used the most out of this blush palette. Oh no, not even close. All right, next we have ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Growth Flirt. This is kind of a corally red shade. I used to use this on my daughter for dance recitals, so it's a little sentimental. She needed little plump red cheeks, and this was the perfect shade for her. It is getting a little old in my collection, but it's still creamy, it's still usable. I mean, I really haven't used this one in the last couple of years, to be honest, but I'm tempted to keep it anyways, so I'll just think about that. And then this, I'm ashamed to say I've not used yet, and I got it in January. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss blush in the shade Merlot Moment. No idea why I haven't reached for this, other than I just get super hyper focused on my project panning and just don't get to it. But I'm definitely going to be using that one soon. In fact, I might roll it in for 10 uses or something like that as we go into fall. I am keeping these three for now, although I think the ColourPop one is probably on the chopping block. Alrighty, so this is a discontinued item. It came from Item Beauty. It's the Blush and Like Cream Blush in Admit It. The only reason I keep this is I do really like this color, but swatched against some of these other ones, it might be something I can part with. I do also really enjoy this formula, so like I said, we'll see. I think I want to first swatch this one against Merit Beauty Flush Balm in the shade Raspberry Beret. Beautiful. Ooh, yeah. Definitely. I'm also going to be giving everything a sniff as I go through here and make sure nothing has expired on me. So actually, let's swatch this guy first. This is Tower 28 Beach Please Blush in the shade After Hours. It is a very pigmented berry shade, but still very doable for me. I just go in with a very light hand. I take the excess off on the back of my hand typically, and then go in with it. All right, next we'll do Merit Beauty's Cheeky. This might be more of a pink berry, which is kind of why I wanted to swatch it here, because I think it might go with some of these more pinky berries. This is the Ilia Multi-Stick in the shade At Last. I don't know that this is a favorite for me, if I'm being honest. Yeah, very similar to these up here. In fact, I'll swatch it again up here. I don't think I need to keep this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. It's pretty, but it does have a little bit of micro sparkle in it. It's a little sample dinky thing, which I don't love having in my collection. Plus, I've duped it twice over with these two from Item Beauty and Merit. This is definitely a beautiful berry. By the way, if you can hear snoring in the background, it's our Goldie Oliver. He won't be shut out of the room or he'll cry, so you know, we're here for puppy snores today. All right, this is the Say Dew Blush in the shade Chili, and it's definitely a berry, but more kind of similar to Cheeky here from Merit. It's almost like more of a warm berry shade. So we have that one. This is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Suave Mauve. Good grief, that was hard to read. And I think it falls in this category as well. I think if anything, it reminds me of the Ilia. I don't know. I'm keeping it. I enjoy it. Question is, do I need to keep both of these? The answer is no, but I can't decide. I love the smoothness of this formula better, but I do like that this looks dewy on the cheeks. So I think for now I'm going to keep both. So these guys are staying. All right, we sort of have three categories here within my nude peachy tones. These are more like my coral nude, kind of mostly coral shades right here. In the middle here, we have my peachy nudes, and over here we have sort of my rusty kind of nudes, warm, that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and start with this, because I know at least one of these I'm probably going to be getting rid of, but we'll start here with Patrick Ta's Do We Know Her? And this is my, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the powder too. So this is Do We Know Her? I absolutely love this. And yet it's one of my least used Patrick Ta duos. It's just so pretty though. One I'm almost certain I'm going to let go of is this one, and only because I couldn't even force myself to use this through Project 10 Uses this year. This is the Kulfi Mindy Moment Blush in the shade Garland Glow. It's a beautiful blush, and I possibly am going to talk myself out of it by swatching it, because that's how that goes. But the thing that's unique about this one is that it has a little bit of a cool tone shift to it. I just don't tend to reach for shades like this that often, and when I do, I'm pretty picky about it. So I think I can definitely rehome this one. I got it in PR last year in 2023, and so it still has a lot of life left to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this one go. This is another one that may or may not go. This is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush in the shade Belize. I did receive this in a declutter from a friend. I just have not been the biggest fan of these e.l.f. putty products. I didn't love the bronzer, and I really don't like the blushes either. I really wanted to try this one because it was the luminous putty, and I thought maybe, you know, it would work better for me, but I just don't like the formula. I feel like those cream to powder formulas just don't work well on my skin, on my skin texture. So I am gonna go ahead and let this one go, unfortunately, but I'm sure, again, I can find it a new home. And then these two, how did I do this? How did I buy two shades that were almost the exact same? I don't understand. So this is Rare Beauty in the shade Joy. And this is a little bit more, in my mind, orange, but actually it's not. I don't know. It's not my favorite color on my skin tone, but I have tried mixing it with a few things lately, specifically this Sun Kisser blush from Maybelline, and I liked it that way. So that's that one. And then this is the Say Do blush in the shade Poppy. And again, one that I don't necessarily reach for. It's definitely similar to the Patrick Ta, but I love this blush formula so much, I'm loath to let it go. And same with the Rare Beauty. And the thing about these is that I can mix these with other liquid blushes to create colors that I do want to wear. And so I'm definitely keeping these two, and I'm definitely keeping my Patrick Ta blush. So there we go. That's that story, but that's three, you know, that's not terrible. And we did get rid of two from this category, so I feel pretty good about that. So again, here are the swatches for my sort of peachy corals or coral shades. All right, I'm gonna move these guys to the side, and then we're going to move into these sort of bronzy, rusty blush tones. So this is Patrick Ta's Duo in She's So LA. Very well known. My embossing is pretty much gone on the powder part of mine. I do love this. I am so glad that I ended up with this shade. I really debated between this shade and the Do We Know Her shade that we just swatched in the last group. And then I think when I got Do We Know Her, I was a little disappointed and kind of wished that I had gotten this one instead. And then I had the opportunity to purchase this one from a friend who had just gently used it and was wanting to part with it. This is a super fun color from ColourPop. This is their Super Shock blush in the shade Too Cool for School, which today is my daughter's first day of her junior year. Crazy. But this does have a little bit of a golden glow to it. And it's one of the only shades that I have like this. Definitely not getting rid of this one. It is a standalone product in my collection. It just, you know, I don't have anything else like this. Then we have Merit in the shade Fox. Beautiful shade. Beautiful rusty, quite similar to the Patrick Ta, except for the Patrick Ta I think has a bit more of a yellow undertone. Then we have the Say Do blush in Spicy, and this is one of those shades that I love to mix with the coral shade from the last group. and it's just such a beautiful rusty blush shade. It too pairs absolutely beautifully with the Sun Kisser blush. And speaking of the Sun Kisser blush, this is the Maybelline Sun Kisser blush in the shade Shades On, which is this beautiful sort of bronzy metallic shade. I don't like this as much on its own. It's not quite enough base pigment for me, but I do love it, like I said, mixed with other liquid blushes. So definitely keeping that one. And as you can see, we're keeping all of those in that category, but I don't feel like I have an excess. Oh, I know. I wanted to swatch here She's Baked from this palette against these others. Definitely falls in the rusty category, and that is definitely a little bit more on the berry side. I'm glad I swatched those against each other. Now I can update my Mind Palace of makeup, and that this is not quite as rusty and warm as I had once thought. So here are all of those swatches one more time. Okay, so here we are with the Peachy and Nude blushes. I obviously kind of have a type here, if you can tell. I love a good peachy or nude blush on my skin tone. So let's start with a favorite. This is my MAC Glow Play blush in the shade So Natural. I kind of want to push this back into the center. My hands are clean, so I'm gonna do that. But you guys saw it, it had pan. I don't want to push things back in the center to make it easier to work with. I do want to mention too that when I do videos like this, I do go through and clean the makeup, clean the drawer and any organizers before I put things back away. Here is MAC Glow Play in So Natural. I love this blush. It's definitely in my top blushes, probably all the way up there with Hourglass Mood Exposure. It's one of my favorite blushes. It does have to be built up when I am not at my palest, but I'm all right with that. Another Tower 28 Beach Please blush. As you can see, I hit pan on it this year, and there disappeared the pan. This is the shade Magic Hour, and I do love this shade. I think it's really beautiful. It's definitely got a touch of rosiness to it. I can see that maybe it would be similar with some of these down here. This is one that's definitely up for, it's on the chopping block. This is the Tarte Breezy Cream Blush in the shade Peach Sunset. Oh yeah, this is just kind of stiff, and it's enough of a similar shade to the MAC one. I just don't think I need to keep that one. It wasn't one that I necessarily picked out for myself. It came in one of the Sephora favorite kits, which I was fine with because I have the bronzer in this formula and I really like it, but I don't know. This just doesn't feel like something I need to keep. It's very, yeah, it's thick. This is just not a great formula. So I'm gonna let that go. One down. Okay, this is a mini of the Merit Flesh Balm, and this happens to be my favorite of all the shades I own. This is the shade Beverly Hills. I would declutter all of my other shades and buy this in the full size. I absolutely love this layered over other blushes, especially if I get to the end of a blush look and my cheeks are kind of just looking dry and lifeless and makeup-y. I will go over top with this one because I think it's beautiful. Next, this is the Rare Beauty matte blush in the shade Bliss. Probably one of my most used Rare Beauty blushes. I really enjoy the shade of it. And the matte version can sometimes be nice because, you know, it can last longer on the cheeks and things like that. So that is the shade Bliss. This is the Kaja Whipped Dream blush, and it is in the shade Meringue Pink. It is quite similar to the MAC and the Magic Hour, but I just love this. I love how it looks on the skin. You know, it is something that I use, so I don't mind keeping it, even though it's kind of a repeat shade. This is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Dusty Rose. I would not call it a Dusty Rose shade. To me, it is definitely peachy. I think it's very similar to Bliss, a little bit more pigmented. This is the Say Do blush in the shade Rosy. I put it here, however, because I feel like it's a little bit more peachy, but maybe not. Maybe that is more of a pink. I'll put this one over with the pinks. Okay, and then lastly, this is the M Cosmetics So Soft blush stick in the shade Pearl Tea. This is more of a nude, more of a brownie nude. It's really pretty. I'm putting it up here. It's like the way more pigmented version, a little bit, of the Matte Glow Play. I just love this blush to pieces. I am definitely not getting rid of it. There's a lot of product left, but I've also used quite a bit of this. So here are all of the swatches. And looking at these, you know, under the light here, I just don't feel like there are any worth getting rid of, to be honest. I mean, yes, there are some that are similar. We did part with one. This is a blush type I use all the time, as you can tell by the usage on these. Like even my Beverly Hills, hopefully you can see that like it's flattened out quite a bit. So these are blushes that I feel like I could use up at some point. Some of them are well on their way to that. I've definitely gotten a lot of use out of these 2 liquids and these 3 creams. So I'm all right with keeping all of these. All right, so here are the pink blushes. And I do want to start the pinks by swatching this. I don't think I have any pinks that are similar to She's a Doll, but I do want to go ahead and swatch it. And this one kind of falls in like the corally red, but I know I don't have anything else like this in my collection. So that's why I really didn't swatch it against anything. If anything, I would have swatched it against like my corals, but I just don't think there's any similarity there. This is definitely like my go-to Barbie pink. If I need a Barbie pink, this is the one I'll be wearing. And because I don't wear Barbie pink very often, I don't wear that one very often, but that's okay. All right, what can we do here? Let's go ahead and swatch the rest of our brighter pinks. So this is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blur Balm Flushed, I think is what it was called, in the shade Prima Donna. Holy moly. This thing is so pigmented, and now I feel like I want to swatch that She's Vibrant cream that I just said I wasn't gonna swatch. Whoops, in the frame here, Kyra. All right, so let's go ahead. May as well. The Danessa Myricks is one I received in PR, so again, not maybe something I would have purchased. Oh yeah, that's super similar, which makes me feel like, yes, I can get rid of this one. I haven't wanted to get rid of it because I love Danessa Myricks, like really love her, but I just don't use this. This is just way too pigmented for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that one go, and I feel great about it because I know I have the less pigmented version in this Patrick Ta palette. Wow, I'm really proud of myself. Gotten rid of 5 cream blushes so far, which is more than I could say for powder blush. All right, and then we have this one. This is from Huda Beauty. It's their Cheeky Tint, and this one is the shade Proud Pink. And it has quite the reflect on it. It's quite reminiscent of like your NARS Orgasm kind of shade, but this is a really beautiful formula. I find it works well on my skin, and so I'm definitely keeping that one. This is Rare Beauty Happy. This is definitely one of my favorites of the ones that I own. It's bright and it's pigmented, but it is quite easy to use, and I do love it. So there is that one, and I'm definitely keeping it. This is Merit Flush Balm in the shade Stockholm, which you can see kind of your bubble gummy pink here. Let's go ahead and swatch that one. It's a really beautiful sort of everyday kind of pink. So I don't feel like there's a lot of overlap there, but now I'm noticing maybe a similarity with this one from Bobbi Brown. So this is the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge for Lips and Cheeks, and this is the shade Pink Flame. I received this year in PR, and I love this color. It is so pretty. It looks beautiful on my skin, and I don't think it looks too much like the Merit one, so that's great. We're gonna keep this up here in the lineup, however, and definitely keeping Stockholm here. So here are all of those that I would consider my more bright pinks, other than Pink Flame, which I'll just cover up out of frame. But here's my bright pink blushes. I'm very happy with the array that I have, and yet I don't feel like it's too much either. Now for the pinky pink blushes. First one I think I am probably going to part with is this one. This is from Believe Beauty. It's their Color Me Cream blush in the shade Dollface. I feel kind of guilty because I wanted this for quite some time, but you can see here it is actually quite cool toned, and I don't know that I love the way it looks on my skin. Also want to swatch this against it. This is the Stila convertible color in the shade Lilium. Oh yeah, see, that's similar but warmer. So I'm definitely going to part with this one. It is beautiful, however. It's definitely a great formula. If you're in store at Dollar General, these are great. Let's swatch Rare Beauty Hope against these two cooler options. I don't know that this is quite as cool tone, but let's swatch it here anyways. Oh yeah, it's similar enough, but it's, you know, again, a little bit warmer, so it's a good tone for me. Keep that. Let's swatch this one next, and then we'll go into the warmer options. This is the Opu Juicy Pang Water Blusher in the shade PK03, which I believe is Guava. As you can see, it kind of has a gold pearl in there as well, so it can be very pretty blended out on the skin. And of course it's fun because it's got this little nail polish applicator here, and I do really like it. I guess I kind of thought I might get rid of this one, but I think with some of the fluff out of my collection, this might get more attention. It does remind me a little bit of Lilium, but in a liquid formula, and Lilium does not have any pearl or luminous qualities, so I think we'll go ahead and keep this one for now. This is Patrick Ta She's Blushing. Very beautiful kind of blush. It's a little more nude, but it's, I don't know, it comes off pink. Maybe I have it swatched against the complete wrong things. Maybe I don't. We'll find out. So there is Patrick Ta. She's blushing. And let's compare that one to this. This is the Honest Beauty Cream Cheek Blush in the shade Rose Pink. Beautiful sort of neutral pink shade. That actually reminds me of Hope a little bit from Rare Beauty, but I love this. I'm actually working toward hitting pan in this right now. I've had it for a long time. All right, let's go ahead and swatch Bobbi Brown Pink Flame again. I just love this color. And that is it, swatched against the others. And I don't really think it's too close to anything. I think it definitely verges a little bit on a berry. Cult favorite, Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm in Pink Gasm. And this is super glowy and beautiful. And then lastly, we're gonna swatch Say Dew Blush in Rosy. And this is my personal favorite shade, as is, with no mixing from the Dew Blushes. So there's absolutely no chance of me getting rid of it. A little bit similar to Rose Pink from Honest. So here are all of these shades. And we did manage to get rid of one out of that group. All right, so these are the ones we are getting rid of. I feel good about that. We got rid of 6 cream blushes, nothing to sneeze at. You know, it's not a grand amount, but that's how I know that I'm being very thoughtful in what I'm getting rid of. And of course, more will organically exit my collection as we go, as I try things, as I find preferences in similar shades, things like that. But 6 is not bad, and I'm very happy with the result of this declutter. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know down below, did you see any of your favorite cream blushes? Was there anything you saw that you added to your wish list or is already on your wish list? Let us know down in the comments. I hope you're having a great day and week so far, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye!